Hi guys, Darren from venomfluidart. Thank you so much for joining me today on the Fluidart Express. After me, we've got Kristey from Creations by Kristey, Shannon from ShanB Fluidart, Bubbles from Venom Fluidart, last but not least, Tony and Kat from the Hippy Dippy Painter Man. So stay on board and enjoy the ride. Alright, so what I figured I'd do today is have a bit of a play. Now, this bottle here is a 4 litre bottle of Australian Floetrol that I bought 5 years ago. This was my little test bottle that I've always had, and what I've done is left this outside in all sorts of weather conditions, as you can see by the state of it. So it's been in freezing temperatures, it's been in super crazy hot heat, full sunlight, you name it. So it's well and truly copped a punishing. And what I've been doing, every 6 months, I'll crack it open, make up some cell activator with it, and see what it's like compared to a new bottle of Australian Floetrol. So I figured that's what we'll do today. I found it while we moved. That it's been sitting there probably 12 months now since I last opened it, and we'll mix up some cell activator with it. See if it still works. This bottle actually I put in the freezer and froze it rock solid. Let it thaw out in the sun, and it still worked last time I used it. So let's give it a go. So what we'll do is grab our new bottle and put that to one side. I'll grab something I can mount on here to mix it up with. Grab our little cup, grab a little scoop. So what I usually do is give it a really good shake. Always shake the absolute crap out of your Floetrol every time you use it. Give it a good couple of minutes. Same with when you buy a new bottle. Can't even get the lid off this one. Okay, got it. Woo! Gooey. Alright, so that's what it looks like inside. Give it a scoop. What I usually do is put one scoop in first. Now I'm going to grab some Amsterdam Lamp Black. Alright. Give it a blob of that. If you put one scoop of Floetrol in first, your paint drops out of it real easy. Alright, grab a little mixing stick, give that a mix. Now for blooms I usually go 3-to-1 or 4-to-1. Just because I like it a little bit thinner than when I do swipes. So we've got at the moment 1 part paint, 1 part Floetrol. I might go 4 parts on this one. So 1, 2, 3, because we've already got 1 part in there. Put the lid back on, and that will go back outside for another test later on. Alright, so just mix that in thoroughly. Like so. Give it a good mix. So that's quite runny, doesn't leave a trace. Right, so that there is our old Floetrol. Grab a lid for it, stick the lid on. And what we'll do is we'll mark it So I'll just use a bit of paint, dab on the lid, couple of dabs on the side. That way we know which one it is. Alright, put that to one side. I'm going to grab the new bottle and give that a really good shake. I usually do this for about 5 or 10 minutes to shake the living crap out of it. That way it mixes everything up in there, because everything that's in there is going to separate. So you get a really good mix. You don't know how long it's been sitting on the shelf or when it was manufactured. So it pays to shake it. And shake it every time you're going to use it. So these have, on the new bottles, they're kiddie proof lids. So, and trust me, half the time they're adult proof. So you got to push down and turn. You hear the seal crack. Alright, and it should look gorgeous and white like that inside, unlike the other one that's yellowed. Where'd I put my scooper? There it is. Alright, so we'll do the same again. We'll make it 4 parts. So I usually start with one first. Put that in. Grab my Amsterdam Lamp Black. One blob of paint, same as the last one. Drops it in. Give that a mix. Like so. Doesn't really take long to mix in because it's quite nice paint in the Amsterdam stuff. Alright, so 2 parts, 3 parts, 4 parts. So when somebody says it's 3-to-1 ratio, 2-to-1, whatever, it's 1 part paint, 2, 3, 4, whatever parts Floetrol. Right, screw the lid on that one, put that to one side. I don't bother keeping them out of the sun. I don't bother keeping them out of the weather. They just either sit in the garage or the test piece, they get stuck outside. So, alright, give that a good mix. Like so. Just make sure it's mixed in, you got no lumpy bits. That flows off, doesn't leave a trace, just flows straight back into itself. Perfect. Alright, grab a lid for that one. This one I'm not going to mark. We'll just leave it there. What I'll do is, I'll leave it so you can see them, so there's no camera trickery. We'll see how it goes. Pillow paint, what shall we use? I think we'll go black today. Why not? Alright, so we've got our MDF hexagon that I've made up. I just make all my own stuff. It works out a lot cheaper that way. Right. This is the British Paint Slow Sheen interior wall paint. I get it mixed up black. You just take your can over the counter, they mix it. This is actually a little bit thinner than what the exterior paint is, so you don't really worry about bubbles too much. There's ones there that I've got. I'm just going to pop it. and that was from squeezing it out of the sauce bottle rather than what's actually in the paint when it's being mixed. It's actually not too bad. So, alright, colours. What shall we use for colours? We'll just put whatever down. How's that sound? Sounds like a plan. So, what I might do is do a swipe or something. Right, so I'm just going to lay first colour down. Grab a blue. What I'll do is I'll use all the same colours as well. All in the same order. So I'll put them strategic where I know where they are. Use our magenta. Custom colour that I've made up. Looks very similar to Axolotl by this little piggy. Alright, a little bit of that down. Got to have some orange in it. So I'm just going to put that to the side. And I might go this purple. Alright, so they're the colours we used in that order. So that's the order they're in. Now then, swipe time. So I'm going to use just a little swipe tool. We'll use the new Selectivator first. So what I usually do is just blab it on like that. Just level it off. What I'm going to do is go now where you first start. Selectivator is going to be the thickest. When it gets further down, it thins out because you've rubbed it all off. Like that. So, new Selectivator, yep, definitely works. Easy sells. Which you'd hope to for the price of the stuff. Alright, I'm just going to put some little patterns through it. Like that. Like this, we'll give it a spin. Right, so put that there. Go for the middle of the spinner. So I get the paint moving like that, where it hasn't folded over. I'll just give it a dab. Give it a dab on the edges. Like so. Move the pillow paint out of the way. Right, scrape this off. What I usually like to do is scrape off the paint that you first start spinning. That way you can gauge how much more's actually coming off when you do spin it. Because you don't want too much paint left on the surface of your artwork, otherwise it'll tend to crack. Now's a good time to give it a torch because any bubbles that you got in it will spread as it spins out. Alright, get that torch. Alright, do a bit more of a spin. Oh, alright. Pop that one up. Set it there. Always scrape the bottom. What I usually do is go 45 degrees on the edge and go around the edge of it. And that way you don't get excessive drips as it drips off. And then just go around the bottom again. Otherwise, if you don't do that, the weight of the paint dripping off the side pulls your design and stretches it all as it dries. That you don't want. So I'll do a flyover of it at the end, but that's it with brand new Floetrol. Alright, we'll put that up on the shelf. I will grab a round this time so we can distinguish which one was what when it dries. Alright, pillow paint, same as the other one. What I usually do is squirt it in the middle. Go out until there's about an inch or so from the edge. 25mm for the metric people. Let that sit there for a minute. Alright. We'll grab our same colours as we did last time. Oh, so we'll go along, give it a wiggle. Like so. That's actually a chameleon from Eye Candy. Can't remember the colour for the life of me. But I think it was House of the Rising Sun. From memory. And my memory's not that good, so. Alright, we'll go our blue. Yeah, that's a custom colour that I've mixed interference of violet with. So the blue actually shifts purple. Any of your transparent or semi-transparent colours that you've got as a tube paint, you can add your mica powder to. Whether it be an interference powder which looks white but it's not. You can add that to it when you mix it, and it'll give you all sorts of crazy little colours. Right, so add some of that down. Right, next blue. So you notice as I've been putting the colours down, that's been slowly spreading. It's just the weight of the paint that does that. Makes it spread out. Oh, put our orange on. Gorgeous orange. From memory, that is Bird of Paradise by this little piggy. Very pretty. And last but not least, we'll go that purpley colour one that I've made up. So even as you lay the colours down in a thin strip, you'll watch them stretch as you go. Alright, wipe that. Our old cell activator. So that's that one. Add some to our little swipe tool. I'm running out of it by the time I get to the end. Alright. So where you first lay it on, it's like super thick. You're going to get bigger cells, and as you run out of it, it ends up being thinner. If you don't like that sort of pattern, what you can do is grab your cell activator again and just add a bit more on your swipe tool, like so. So you wanted to spread it back the other way, you still can. You just whatever, and then you get cells again. So if you ever do a swipe and you're not happy with the way it smudges near the end, add some more cell activator to your swipe tool, give it a swipe, and away you go. Alright. Put some wiggly bits in it like we did the other one. Scrape this bit off here. Alright. Give that a spin. Stick your finger on the edge while it rolls. That way it doesn't flick everywhere. Cells! Who'd have thunk it? Alright, pop that one up. So I've got goobers in that one. Nice job on that. But, you know, like I said, that one's 5 years old. It's been through more punishment than you guys will ever give it. Because like I said, it's been outside, it's been put in the freezer. I mean, I've had that in the freezer for a week and it's been absolutely rock solid. Then thawed it out and still used it as cell activator. So if you're worried about it being shipped over during winter from Australia to wherever and it freezes in the plane, it's no big deal, it still works. Got to remember, Floetrol is 90% water. So if it's going to freeze, it will. It's 90% water. The rest of the stuff that's in it still freezes as well. So, but it definitely works and works well. That's been in 150 degree heat, 150 degree Fahrenheit, even higher at some points. It still works fine. Alright, we'll put that one to one side. What else shall we do? We'll grab a tile. little hex tile. Why not? Okay. Pillow paint. What did I do with it? Over here. Okay. Alright. Throw some pillow paint down. Now I know this will spin right off the edge anyway when I spin it out, so I'm not too worried about where I put it on. Near enough's close enough. Alright, colours. We'll just use whatever we've got here. Sounds like a plan, Wombat. So use some of that pink. Some of the blue. You'll notice I like all my colours quite thick rather than thin. It's just personal preference. Some people like them thicker, some people like them thinner. I just like the way the colour stays separated when it's thicker rather than thinner. So you can have it like an orange beside a blue and still get definite orange and blue side by side rather than mud. That's only because of the thickness of the paint that I'm using. Alright, what shall we do? A little mini blower. Okay, that works. Get our cell activator. Always mix your cell activator before you put it down. It tends to work better. Alright, we're just going to put a blob of that. Give it another blob. Put the lid on it. Give it a blow. So where the selector's beta's got a whole lot in it, like the middle of a bloom, it's going to take a lot longer to do its thing than where it is on the outside edges. So what I usually do is scrape up some of my mess. And what it's doing is the surface tension of that cell activator is opening up like that, which gives you them cells. Now, to see if you've got any paint underneath there, what you can do is just blow on it with a straw. If you see colour come up, you know there's still paint underneath it. So by blowing with a straw, all you're doing is breaking the surface tension. Like so. Yeah, if you want, you can walk away, leave that for 10 minutes, let it do its thing. You'll notice you'll get a lot more cells form. It ends up being a lot better than a quick wham bam thank you ma'am, if that makes any sense. Alright, so we'll give this a spin. Now, small objects. There isn't enough real massive paint on there for it to fly out easily. So you can spin smaller objects out a lot longer without wonking your cells up. On something that was bigger, like the diameter of what this spinner is, the weight of the paint would want to fly off all directions heavily. So you tend to get wonky cells if you spin it too fast on a big piece. You're better off just spinning nice and slow. I mean, this looks fast, it's not. See, you can run along with it. Now, if you pop that up, tilt it, you want it so that doesn't move. Then you know you've got enough paint off it. It means it won't crack if you use the right products. Never use ceiling paint as a pillow paint. There's too much chalk in it and it cracks every time. Not worth the drama. You're better off using wall paint, which is a better quality paint anyway. Alright, there's our little bloom with 5-year-old Aussie Floetrol that's been through the ringer. So, old Floetrol works 100% for sure. Alright, I'll do a couple of flyovers of those so you can have a nice close-up look at them. But yeah, if you're buying Floetrol and you haven't used it for 12 months, don't freak out. The stuff's still going to work. If you get a bottle of Floetrol that is too thin, so it's like really watery, which I have laying around here somewhere, I might actually do that for another video. I'll show you what you do with really thin Floetrol. All you're doing is adding more paint. That'll thicken it up to a consistency that you want to use as a cell activator. So it doesn't matter how thin it is. You've got to think water is probably the thinnest that you're going to use, and you can still do blooms, swipes, all sorts of things using water and paint as a cell activator. So don't worry about how thin it is. Add more paint if it's too thin. If it's too thick, add more water or Floetrol, depending on what you're using. So, well, I hope that was informative for you all today. If you've liked that, hit like, share and subscribe. Bring that notification bell. Ding ding! That way you get to see all this stuff as I release it. Okie dokie. Up next we have Kristey from Creations by Kristey. So click on her name in the title of the video. It'll take you to her channel. If you're in the live chat, click on the link that I put in there. Or if you're a member of Paint Boring by venomfluidart, totally free Facebook group. Just click the play all list link that I put in there each and every week. Place everybody on the Fluidart Express one after another. You don't have to go searching for links and you don't get lost. Rightio. So, that's it from me. Have fun. Take care. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.